This story was about an ordinary boy named Jack. One day when he was returning home late from school, he saw his dad watching TV, but something was wrong there. His father was behaving strangely. Jack ran towards him and was shocked to see that his father had been killed. Well, at that moment Jack couldn't understand anything and started calling out for his mom, but no voice came from upstairs. The next moment he saw that his mom had also been killed. Then Jack saw a man who had killed his mom. Jack moved forward to attack him, but that person used a magic spell to push Jack away. Suddenly another boy appeared in front of Jack and said, "I have been waiting for you for so many years." That boy activated his magical powers and tried to take control of Jack, but before his magic could have any effect, a swordsman came and knocked him away. Both of them drew their swords and started an intense fight. Taking advantage of this, the mage was about to attack Jack, but at the same time another mage came forward and protected Jack. By now, it had become clear to Jack that out of these people, two were attacking him and two were protecting him. At that moment, we see that the two persons who were trying to save Jack used space-time magic. A little while later, Jack suddenly opened his eyes. He was in a completely different place and had no idea where he was. Before Jack could understand anything, the same mage who had saved him appeared. Jack ran towards him and asked what had happened and where his parents were. Then that mage said, "My name is Shell and this is my friend whose name is Elson. We both tried very hard to save your parents, but it's too late now. We could only protect you." And he said, "Right now I am the only one here who can understand your language." Jack was still very confused. He didn't understand what was going on. Then Shell said, "At this moment you are in a completely different world. Well, to put it simply, this is not Earth, and this world is ruled by a person named Marco. But Marco's rules were so bad and so disgusting that some people were opposing him. To escape him, some people had gone to another world, that is Earth. Then Marco sent his son Kardesh to Earth so that he could kill all the survivors. And we come to know that Kardesh was none other than that swordsman. He said, "Perhaps your parents belonged to our world and couldn't tolerate Marco's disgusting rules, so they escaped to Earth." But Jack said, "I know my parents are from Earth. I don't believe even a little bit of what you're saying." Then we learned that Kardesh is one of the strongest swordsmen in this world, and the mage was none other than his assistant, whose name was Ryan. Both of them were no less than monsters. There was no humanity left in them. Well, Jack didn't want to listen to all this at that moment and left from there. As soon as Jack moved a little ahead, there was a girl there. That girl called out to Jack, but Jack couldn't understand her language. At that time, she put a strange type of pendant on him, after which he suddenly started understanding all languages. Then that girl explained to Jack, "This is a magical crystal. With its help, you can understand our language." At the same time, Shell came chasing after Jack and called that girl by her name. Well, we come to know that the girl's name is Historia. Seeing Shell, Jack got angry again and ran away from there. While running, Jack had entered a strange room. Well, as soon as he entered the room, Jack placed his hand on an unknown circle. The next moment he found himself flying in the sky. Dragons were also flying beside him, but suddenly the atmosphere there changed completely. Suddenly many dangerous attacks started happening, so dangerous that they could even kill dragons. Meanwhile, some flying serpents came and started killing all the other creatures. Suddenly, Jack woke up and realized that all this was a vision. Historia was sitting beside Jack. She told him that it was not a vision. This calamity had actually happened 3 years ago, and this attack was carried out by Marco, which was a very mystical attack. In this attack, he wanted to steal the powers of dragons and unicorns. However, since Jack had no idea about all this, she told him everything from the beginning. She said that in this universe, 2 planets exist. One is Earth and the other is Aiden, and right now you are inside planet Aiden. And as you can see, anyone in this world can use magic. A little later, we see Jack asking Historia why Marco didn't attack this place. Historia said that this place is very special. This place has been continuously protected by a magical barrier. Marco and Kardesh cannot cross this barrier. Jack said, "I don't think you people are telling the truth," and he left from there to find a way to return home. But a little further ahead, there was a barrier that Jack could not cross. No matter how many times he tried, he couldn't cross that barrier. Jack completely broke down because his parents were also not with him anymore. Then Historia came and comforted Jack. Jack asked Historia, "Was it fair that my parents were killed just because they were living on Earth? There is also no proof that they were from this world." Historia said that Kardesh doesn't attack until he senses magic. Hearing this, Jack felt that maybe he was the reason, because when he was on Earth, he used to have very strange dreams. At the same time, Historia used her magic to heal his injuries. Seeing this, Jack was shocked. Historia said, "I also came from Earth, Kardash has attacked me many times too, but Shell saved me every time and now he is teaching me magic. Sometime later, Elson came there and said to him, I apologize to you, earlier I didn't introduce myself properly but I am the leader of this group. Then Elson gave Jack a legendary sword and said, from today I will train you. He said, I don't have to defend myself. Then Jack said, I will become so strong that I can avenge my parents. The next morning, we see a castle where Lion Kardash says that we have killed Jack's parents. But Kardash was not happy about this at all because his plan was to capture Jack alive. He warned Ryan not to take any decision on his own. I will make sure that the next time he meets me, he will not be able to escape. The next day we see Historia who had returned to Earth. Well, because her mother and father are dead, she lives with her grandmother. Historia was waiting for her train. Well, after some time as the train arrived normally, everyone came forward. But there was a boy who was very careless. He accidentally dropped his phone and while picking it up, he mistakenly pushed Historia and she fell onto the train tracks. No one present there understood what had just happened. But at the last moment before the train could touch her, an unknown magical barrier saved her. Although the train had completely crashed, she was safe. The people present there helped her and that boy also apologized to her. But Historia left from there without talking to anyone. She boarded another train on a different platform because she was afraid that Kardash would sense her magic. And well, she was absolutely right because Kardash was searching for her. Historia ran to many places but Kardash was quietly following her. No matter where Historia went, Kardash was always behind her. While running, Historia had now reached the end of the train and could not go anywhere. But luckily at that time the train stopped at a station. She got off the train and boarded another train. But she was shocked to see that Kardash was also following her. Historia tried her best to shake off Kardash and finally got a chance and got out of the train. But Kardash could not get out from there and Historia was saved. The next moment we see Historia at her grandmother's house. She was very scared and went to her grandmother. Seeing her like this, her grandmother asked, what happened to you? Well, of course, Historia could not tell her grandmother about Kardash. So she simply told her grandmother that a boy was following her and she didn't know what he wanted. Her grandmother said, don't worry, you are at home now and no one can do anything to you. Meanwhile, in the next scene we see Jack who was doing very hard training with Elson. While training, 4 months had passed and now Jack could swing a sword a little, but with such swordplay he could never defeat Elson. Elson easily defeated him in a duel. Jack asked, why can't I defeat you? Elson said, I have been training for years, although it has only been 4 months since you started training. Jack said, you promised me that you would give me a legendary sword. But Elson said, you are not yet capable of handling a legendary sword. But Jack insisted a lot and said, at least let me see it. Well, Elson agreed and pressed a button where all the swords appeared. Then Elson said that one of these swords is very special and is his favorite. But Jack's attention was only on one sword. It was a legendary sword. Jack went near that sword and saw that this sword was really awesome. Elson said, this is a dragon sword because this sword was made in dragon fire. In very old times it was wielded by a legendary swordsman, and it is said that only the one who is going to fight Kardash will be able to use this sword. Whoever uses this sword, Kardash will become his greatest enemy. Hearing all this, Jack was about to pick up that sword, but Elson shouted, don't touch this sword by mistake or you will burn. Jack laughed and said, you are joking, right? Elson said, I don't joke. Before he could say anything more, Shell came there and told Elson, come with me, I need to talk to you alone about something important. Jack left from there but was secretly listening to their conversation. Then Shell said that Kardash had attacked Historia. Hearing this, Elson said that if that's the case she should stay here, but we cannot force her because she still has a family left. Well, hearing this, Jack became very sad and left from there. He went downstairs and saw that Historia was sitting there. Then he told Historia, I heard what happened with you, are you completely okay? Historia said, yes, I am fine, just a little scared. This is not the first time Kardash has attacked me. 2 years ago when I used my magic to heal someone, he sensed my magic. He reached me very quickly and chased me for a long time. In the end, Shell saved me. In the present, Historia was very clueless. She didn't know whether she should go back to Earth or stay here permanently because her grandmother still lived on Earth. Then Jack told her, whatever decision you make, we are all with you. Don't worry, in a few days I will also learn to fight and after that I will also protect you. Hearing Jack's words, she became very happy and kept faith in herself. At that moment Shell came there and said, you both stay here because Kardash is chasing us. Elson took his sword and got ready to leave, but then Jack asked, can I also go with you? But he said, you are not ready yet. Shell and Elson were the ones who were going to fight Kardash. Using the crystal present there, they tracked Kardash's location and teleported from there. Meanwhile, we see Kartesh and his mage who were hunting two people on Earth, because these two had also come to Earth to save their lives. Meanwhile, Ryan used his magic to attack that girl. That girl defended herself with her magic, which revealed that she was a citizen of Aden. Meanwhile, the other person took advantage of this and ran away from there. But Kardesh had come behind him and instantly killed him with a very strange magic. At that very moment, Shell and Elson reached there. Ryan completely killed that girl and launched a magical attack on Shell. Meanwhile, Elson was fighting a duel with Kardesh. Meanwhile, Ryan performed another magical attack on Shell. Shell dodged that magical attack, but at the same time Ryan changed the direction of his magic, and because of this attack Shell received a very serious injury. Elson, seeing Shell's condition, went to him and said that we have to get out of here. And at the last moment, Shell activated his teleportation and escaped from there. Meanwhile, back at the camp, Jack was doing his training. When he heard some voices from outside, he went to check. At that time, Victoria came there and Elson asked her to heal him. Victoria said, "I can try, but first we have to go outside because in open air her power becomes even stronger." Finally, Historia went outside and succeeded in healing him. Shell thanked Victoria and rested for a while. After this, Historia came to Jack and told him everything. Jack said after hearing this, "Very good, you are a very good mage." But Historia said, "I am not a mage, I can't even come close to him, but one day I want to become like him, who is the greatest mage in this world." Well, she gave some information about that mage. His name is Lai and he had a weapon. But that weapon was stolen from here many years ago. Then Historia said, "I wanted to help Shell, but I am so weak that I couldn't help him even at the last moment." Then Jack asked himself, why do we always lose to Kardesh? Thinking this, he ran to the crystal and said, "Tell me, where is Kardesh right now?" The crystal showed him where Kardesh was present at that moment. Then Jack told the crystal, "I want to keep an eye on both of them from a distance." The crystal allowed this and Jack was present there in image form. Then Jack saw that Kardesh had a kind of book. But before Kardesh could open that book, he noticed Jack and tried to control him with his magic. But before the magic could take effect, Historia pulled him up. Then Kardesh told Ryan that someone was watching us. And it is probably someone from Shell's team. Whoever it is, they are going to die very soon. Meanwhile, we see Jack regaining consciousness and all the people were there. Shell and Elson found out what Jack had tried to do and Elson told Jack that what you did was very foolish. If Kardesh wanted, he could have killed you in 1 second, but Jack said, "How is this possible? I wasn't even there." Shell explained that Kardash's power is controlled by his mind. He can control anyone's mind and soul and kill them. Well, both these cases are very bad because if you get controlled, he can enter this forest, and if he enters this forest, things can get much worse. Jack apologized to them and said that he would not do anything like this in the future. Well, both of them left from there, but Historia wanted to understand what Jack had seen there. Jack said that they had a strange book in their hands which was written in Aden language, but he couldn't remember the name of that place. Then he tried to draw that place in a copy and pen and made a very good drawing, seeing which Historia became very impressed and said, "You can rest now, I will try to search this picture online." As soon as Historia left, Jack started training again. At the same time, Elson came and apologized to him. He apologized because earlier he had behaved very rudely. "Till today you are my most promising student and I don't want to lose a warrior and friend like you." Hearing this, Jack became even happier and said that he would work even harder from now on. Meanwhile, Historia had checked many places on her laptop and after a lot of research she finally found that place which they were looking for. Seeing that place, Jack confirmed that yes, this is the same place. Then Historia told about a book which is becoming quite famous these days. This book was written by a scientist named Peter and it seems that Kardesh has stolen that book with someone's help. When Elson and Shell came to know about this, Shell said, "Zoom in on that book." And as soon as she zoomed in on that book, Shell became very shocked. This is a very ancient book that tells everything about the great mages. These are the same mages whose details are kept in our room. He also said that when wars happened in the past, we ran and came here. And we had written all the details about many mages here and the same book is now with Kardesh. We had kept many magical items there like swords and different things, and that book also mentions a legendary staff. And if that staff somehow falls into Kardash's hands, then a very big disaster is going to come. Then Elson said that we should go to that museum from where that book was stolen. And well, those people also went there. Elson had to wear earth clothes which were very annoying for him. Well, whatever, when they reached the library and museum, they split up so that they could search different places quickly. At the same time, scientist Peter called someone and said that the book had been stolen. Even all the digital copies have been deleted. The person on the call said, "Don't worry, I have a private copy," and that private copy was in a small pen drive. But at that very moment, Kartesh came there and killed Peter. What a guy, brother! Whoever comes in his way, he kills them. After killing him, he checked but didn't find any copy, and the cat-type item he found didn't look like a pen drive at all. Meanwhile, on the other side, our four people had completely searched the city and came to know that all digital copies had been deleted. Then they had only one way left. They searched Peter's house online and reached there. But when they went inside, there was no one there. Shell checked the computer present there and Jack checked all the other places. And then finally Jack found the same pen drive in which the book was stored. Those people quickly connected that pen drive and saw that a copy was present in it. Without wasting time, they took that pen drive and left from there. In the next scene, they returned to the forest and took out a copy of that book. Then they all sat together and tried to decode that copy because that book was written by the ancient people of Aden. Meanwhile, Jack went with Elson for sword training. At the same time, Historia read another book in which she learned secrets about the mages. She read about the Great Mage Lai. She found out that Great Mage Lai got his power from his staff, and upon reading more she learned that a long time ago a legendary unicorn lived. And it was because of this unicorn that Lai got his magical power and staff. But later, when the unicorn died, that staff got dislocated by itself, and now no one knows where that legendary staff is. And at that moment, Shell found the location where that staff was hidden. But there was a very strange language written in the book. After reading it, Shell only understood that the people of the desert had hidden that staff somewhere. And when Shell tried to move forward, suddenly an unidentified spell activated. As soon as that spell worked, a map of the globe appeared, and a red dot on that map was specifying exactly where that staff was. And from that red dot, we came to know that the staff is currently in Africa. Then Shell and Victoria went to tell this to Jack and Elson, and later all those people left for the desert to find that staff. While traveling further, there was an unknown person near a lake. Well, he was quite strange, but he belonged to Aden. He also said that my ancestors had come here many years ago, but now none of them are alive. Then Elson told him that we have to find Lai's staff as soon as possible, and if Kardesh gets it even by mistake, it can be very bad. But that person said, "Why should I give you that staff?" Hearing this, Elson became very angry, but Shell stopped him. Then Elson said, "At least let us see that staff." And that person agreed to this. In the next scene, that person took all of them inside a cave. But Historia was feeling a very strange feeling there, and she told everyone that Kardesh is already present inside this cave. But only Jack could hear Historia's words. They ran to warn Shell, but it was too late for Elson because he had already gone very deep into the cave. The three of them ran from there to warn Elson. But by the time they went inside, it was very late because perhaps Elson was about to die. Kartesh had killed Elson in just a few seconds. Seeing this, Jack became very angry and went to attack, but Kartesh froze his sword with magic and broke it. All three of them were in great danger at that time. Somehow, a very strange thing happened. The legendary magical staff suddenly came into Historia's hands, and without wasting time, using a protection spell, Historia saved Jack. Seeing this, Kartesh said, "Hand over that staff to me." But Historia said, "Only I can use this staff." Kartesh said, "If that's the case, then I will take you too. And if you come with me, then Elson can leave from here, and if you say no, then I can kill him." Seeing that Historia had no other choice, she was about to go forward. Jack stopped her, but Historia had no other option. At that moment, Shell came from behind and using his teleportation magic, all three of them teleported from there. Seeing this, Ryan became very angry, but Kartesh was very calm. He said, "Don't worry, those people will come back to us soon because Elson is with us." And now we see the scene when they returned and went back inside the forest, where Jack was very angry because they could not bring Elson back. However, Shell said that at that time we had no other choice because even if Victoria had gone to him, he would have fought both of us and captured us. If Elson had been conscious, he would have also told us to run from here. However, during the fight, Shell remembered a very important thing, so he sat down there and started explaining. He said that many years ago, when Marco attacked Aden, there was a legend that said his end would come by a unicorn or a dragon. And this is the reason he killed all the dragons and unicorns in this world. He continued and said that I was present there that day and I saw with my own eyes that all the unicorns were killed. But even then, a baby unicorn was left there which had just been born. Then Shell took that unicorn and kept it in a safe tower. And as far as Elson is concerned, he also got the last dragon in the same way. Then all the mages gathered at one place and teleported that unicorn and dragon to a safe area. They were hidden in a place where Marco and Kardesh could never reach, and that place where Aiden's last hope was hidden was none other than Earth. Since they were hidden, no one has seen them yet, but it is certain that they are still alive. Even Kardesh is searching for those last dragon and unicorn. We also tried very hard to find that dragon and unicorn. Well, because this staff was made by a unicorn, it is very important that this staff does not fall into Kardash's hands, because it is possible that with the help of this staff he may find the last unicorn. If this staff somehow goes to him, then defeating Marco will become impossible. When Jack heard all this, he became